Hi everyone, how are you? It's Facebook Live time again. It's our Abundant Soul Leadership every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Sorry today I'm a little bit late. I was replying some comments and reviewing my previous video about the interviewing of Kim Kiyosaki, and definitely recommend you to review, to watch that replay. Live replay of my video sharing about Kim Kiyosaki and the great inspirations she's been sharing us for women to empower women to become financial independent. And today on our Abundant Soul Leadership topic is about your personal and your business culture. This is such a big topic actually, and today is not really just for teaching, it's more for sharing and exploration. For me, it's like a new discovery because I did not really thought about the culture before, because most time for us entrepreneurs, right, most of us are solo entrepreneurs, we never thought about the culture name. We use that a lot of time in corporations, right, in a big group, in big organizations. But last night I want to share with you my experience. Last night I attended a financial training event, a meeting, gathered with a group of people, and we were talking about the topic is about the organization culture. And then we talked from the macro way and to the micro way, from the whole organization's culture to the office culture and to the personal culture. I would really say that the presenter was very creative, and she's young. She's been working in a very well-known consulting company, so she's quite creative and interactive, and created a very fun experience for all of us. I really admire that experience, and participated and discussed, and we had a lot of fun time. And because everyone really have that kind of a free spirit to share our opinions and our feedback, and even have some fun time rewarding whoever answer questions to get the chocolates like that. But it's really a great inspiration and a reminder for me to think more about a culture. And actually, most time for the culture, we have two types of cultures we've been talking about, right? One is like in our society about the culture, and another one is really in our in an organization, in a group of people. And let's say here I actually searched for the culture because I want this is a starting of the journey. I want to explore more about the culture, and because majority time we may talk about values or our beliefs, and but we never really use the culture to to really summarize and combine everything together. Here the culture has two types of definition. The first one, actually the majority of time in the society we've been using, the arts and other manifestations of human intellectual achievement regarded collectively. So that's more in our society, right? For example, we may talk about different countries, different races, different like societies and a group of people's cultures. That's a first definition. And the second one, the customs, arts, social institutions and achievements of particular nation, people, or other social group. Okay, this is actually similar. This definition I just searched on Google. It's similar to define the society and a human being related, like a group of people related culture. More like it's like a customs and arts. Like last time I shared with my my event, I attended the New York City's the mayor's event about the Asian heritage kind of a culture events. That's the first type of a culture, is really relating to specific society, group of people, collectively group people and social groups, their customs, arts, social institutions, achievements, and their intellectual achievements together. Okay, so that's a normal culture we've been talking about. And then another, most popular area we've been talking about culture is really in the corporate, right? In big organizations, we talk about culture, and especially if people work in HR, human resources department, this is very familiar word for you, right? This is more like about the whole companies, the companies define the values, behaviors for the whole organizations. And sometimes I also think like this should culture including. That's why you should include in the organization's purpose and the mission. That's why normally in the HR's materials, they define the corporation's the purpose, the mission, and to share that with, and also like a behavior, expected behaviors, and the core values to share with their employees, the whole company, so that everyone could be really on the same page to understand the culture of the whole organization. But today, for entrepreneurs, I really want to talk more about our personal culture and our business culture. And let me further share with you some experience last time I experienced. And then after we shared about the whole organization's culture, what's the difference, and then with the office specific culture, and then we had some exercise. We were divided into small groups, like 3 or 4 people into small groups, and we have around maybe 10 groups, and every group will pick one value, because the organization, the group shared 8 values, and every group is free to pick up one value that they want to really focus more energy on and study more, and also like how they can contribute to make some changes, and or maybe like how to say and emphasizing that kind of a culture, do something one way that they can influence that culture. So I think that's a great way, a great practice on site. So I remember our group, our team members, how to say, they selected one of the values they called aim high. Aim high means like set up your goals, your vision, everything, like standards, aim high. And because majority of people feel like they've been staying in the comfort zone for a long time, that's why they want to use this one. Actually, that's the #1 value in that organization. It's like aim high. Most people are staying in comfort zone for a long time, and they know that by that in that kind of comfort zone, they can never achieve a lot. That's why they need that kind of a challenge from outside, and also inner challenge to get themselves out of a comfort zone to aim high. So that's definitely not easy. Only, majority of people would just stay in their comfort zone. Nobody really wants to be challenged, right? Be pushed, and to be like, how to say, set up high targets, no matter where they are in the corporates, or like even many of our entrepreneurs, after doing work for a long time, sometimes it's like our whole human nature always want to get back to our comfort zone, right? Without, if you do not have a great role models, if you do not have very clear big why, and if you do not have really like how to say, that kind of a strong motivation, it's very easy every day for us to slide back to that comfort zone. That's a original and a natural status of human being, right? It's just the nature of our creators. So we do not need to blame that, but how can we really achieve more and become a greater person and really have a more impact, like a better influence in the world? It's really this kind of value is very important. It's aim high. So how could we do that? How could we influence others, and also especially ourselves, to aim high? So one of the ways is really clarify your personal purpose, your big why. Understand your big why. Only when you have stronger big why, and also like a clearer vision. The vision needs to be far, right? If its vision is not like very close to you, it's not very like easy, like you can just easily touch it. Vision normally should be like a little bit far and high from where you are now, and can give you that kind of a motivation to how to say, empower you, to strengthen you, to really want to strive to reach that vision. So vision is more like a star, right? Maybe not so far like a star, but it's really long-term like dream, and like the far away better version of yourself, and those ideal fantastic status of the life, and the things you want to achieve. So that's a kind of a vision to empower yourself. And then from the faraway targets, you also need like a middle term and also short term kind of targets from 1 year and to break down, right? Because a vision or dream, anyone, if they just stay far away, of course it can encourage you. But if you do not break down that into set up your specific goals for 1 year, for your 90 days, for your monthly goals, for your 1 week, you can easily, really easily lose your targets, lose your vision. So that's why important thing. So many successful entrepreneurs, their secrets is not really big, huge secrets. This is just like they break their big vision into their daily targets. Their daily, maybe it's just habits, a routine works, and every day just challenge yourself, stretch a little bit than maybe yesterday, and go 1 or 2 steps forward. And then that's like a day by day. So many people ignore like how much they can achieve really in long term, right? And many people would just want to, I want to achieve there. But if they did not put that into daily targets, they eventually they feel like, how to say, frustrated, it's like I'm still far away, I could not reach that because the goals, that vision is too far away, it's too high. If you only think about that vision, sometimes, majority times, maybe you will get frustrated and feel like that's too high for me to reach, and you cannot get that kind of a step-by-step kind of milestones and a rewarding kind of a feeling. And as human beings, easy to give up, right? So it's very important to break down your big vision into smaller one, and especially into daily specific actions you can take. And then you will have both kind of a, consciousness. One is your big vision, another one is your daily today, what specific 2 or 3 big things and priority things you need to accomplish. And that's the secret actually for you to really close the gap between your current status to your far away beautiful vision and dream. Okay, so and then talking about more about the culture. For the personal culture, I've been thinking about what's my top 3 personal culture. Then I thought the number 1 is really authenticity. I've been like really a true person to myself and also to other people. I never know how to really pretend, even though I wanted to pretend something, right? I feel very unnatural and uncomfortable, and always want to show my true self. So that's the one. That's a really, I think it's the number 1 culture being following me. And to think about another part of a culture, talk about the cultural background. I came from China, and a small town, very humble background. My parents were like very, my family, and I remember it's very just normal people. And my parents were like artists, part of them like artists, and opera artists. And then later on, my mother went to like a environmental protection bureau. And my father retired in his original like opera, how do you call that? It's like opera house. And so both of them, it's like had a very like they started work since they were very young, because it's just like when they were teenager, they were recruited into those opera house, and because their family were poor, and because of the Chinese Revolution, and during that time, majority of people, it's very hard to feed themselves, right? So at a young age, they need to find their own ways. And my mom's side, even though originally her family is like is a good rich family, but then because of the Chinese Revolution, they lost all their properties, and her parents died very early. I never seen them, and so I only saw my father's side, my grandma, but she was not. Also because revolution, she got how to say that. She really got harmed, and she mentally got harmed during that time, revolution time. So she eventually lost her mentality, and like got some illness, in a mental illness, and she died in her 60s. So it's just like our parents, upper generation, it's really like a majority of my tragedies. So when I was a little kid, I could not remember much about any of them. So I grew up, unfortunately, with my parents. Both of them loved us and tried the best in that kind of a tough age to really create a good, how to say, safe, warm environment. And my father always tried his best to feed us with good food and nutritious food. So that's why I'm so thankful that I'm not like as short as majority of my other people in our province. So I'm quite like tall compared with most women or even men in our province, in Sichuan province. So that's but overall, I had a beautiful and happy childhood because I was in a natural environment, very natural. I guess that's a big secret. It's why I've been an authentic person, because I grew up with the nature. Not too many relatives, but quite some like a very how to say, humble and genuine relatives surrounded us, and we had a great relationship with each other. My father's side and my mother's side, they have a big, those old ages Chinese people have like more, like people in the family have multiple children, and so they have siblings, and then we grow up, they have a big families during that time. So that's really a blessing. I love, when I grew up, I always loved like a big family, many siblings and relatives. I remember New Year celebration, Chinese New Year celebration, we always gather together and visit each other's family and have the big feast together and days of feast. So those are beautiful memories, and especially because we were living in a small county. The county is, it's really like now I'm living in the Forest Hills, a very natural environment. That county is even more natural because it's a small county, not so many people. We did not even see any cars or even not bicycle. Everybody's just walking. It's like because of hilly places, many hills. And so when I was a little kid, I loved the environment. We have so many hills. My high school, middle high school and high school, the same one, the big one. And by the way, our county has only 2 high schools, so not too many choices, only 2. And one is a regular one, another one is more advanced one. So fortunately, because my good performance, economic performance, I get into the advanced one. Another one is on the almost on the top or halfway of the hill, so it's quite a high location, and look down to the valleys and big valleys, and also the river, big rivers. So that's a beautiful, and so far still the most beautiful high school I've ever seen, compared with all those high schools I visited in New York City. And it's really beautiful. So it's just like I visited Cornell University. Yes, some kind of that kind of a natural environment comparable to Cornell University. So you can imagine that, right? So it's quite a blessing. I was growing up in that kind of a natural county, very like limited, how to say, environment, not far away, 7 or 8 hours of like a bus distance to big cities. So majority of the time people just stay in that county, but we also enjoyed that natural environment. It's really a blessing. So that's why when I grew up, most time I would say I from a wild place. I'm a little girl from a right place, and I really feel that kind of a natural connection of the nature, of the trees, of the mountains, the rivers, anything is natural. I will feel that kind of a connection. So I think that's a major contribution to my culture, my cultural background, right? And then to my personal culture, to be authentic. Just like I'm really feel like I'm a child of nature. So I could not survive in Manhattan. I can only go to attend the events in Manhattan, but for living, I definitely need the trees and the plants and all these flowers and water. And unfortunately, Forest Hills does not have a river or lake. And that's why in my long-term vision, my ideal retirement places must have like sea, the ocean, the beach, the mountain, the trees, forest. So that's my ideal retirement place. Maybe I will go to either California or go to Mediterranean areas. Who knows? But that would be an interesting future I would be looking forward to. So, but so far I'm so grateful, surrounded by all the trees and plants in Forest Hills of New York City, in Queensboro. So this many people think this is the best community in New York City, in the city. It's a suburb area kind of a feeling, and beautiful houses, and but just within 10 minutes, you get into the city, you get into the subway system, and go to Manhattan, go to other places. So really pleasant place. And so that's the first one of my authenticity. That's my personal culture because of a background, right? Just share with you. Another one, I think the big thing about my culture is really I've been living on purpose. I'm a person really always looking for why. Whatever we are doing, for me, personally, or I cooperate with other people or I do anything, I always ask why. Why should we do this? Why are we doing this? And why this makes sense to me or to other people, and why is this meaningful? I always ask this kind of question. That's my number one question. So I'm really a person living on my purpose and living on the big why, and always ask for meaning. So if you get a chance to cooperate with me, expect that I will ask you a question: why are we doing this? Why are you doing this? Right? So that's for me, I always looking. I'm a visionary person. That's why I serve other visionary entrepreneurs to really clarify our why. If it's not really purpose-driven, if it's not really meaningful, if it's not benefiting majority other people, I will challenge that. I will say, why should we do this, right? So I will always want to add the best of values to other people and make the things very valuable to all of us. So definitely, and a person on purpose, I'm always asking for why and meaning, and I want to contribute the best values. So that's the second part of my personal culture. The third one, to me, I think it's really unparalleled passion. I'm always a passionate person since I was a little kid. I think since I was a little kid, I always want to initiate things. So this one, the third one is really not just passion, I think. It's really, how to say, a combination of passion, of initiation, of a creativity. Yeah, it's both of a passion and a creativity. I should add that. I've been a very creative person, and also because of come from a background in that kind of natural background, right? And from a very wild, and even though it's a small county, not so many things from a big city, but I get the impact, all the inspirations from the nature, from the universe. I think I get almost like unlimited inspirations. And because during that time in a small county, we do not have so many rules, because everything is so natural, so original status. I feel like and my parents, I thank them forever, is that they always respect me, because also maybe because they did not have like a formal how to say, like quite advanced education. And when I went through all those like advanced education, I did quite so well. So they did not even bother to ask me questions or check any of my homework. They trusted me because I were doing so well. They fully trust me. And I was also a trustworthy assistant to my teachers, to the schools, and to my other friends. So since I was a little kid, I had a very strong leadership already, like I showed up, and I was always, even when I was in the kindergarten, I was leading all those little kids and those little buddies to have fun and do activities with me. So since kindergarten, I've already showed up that kind of as a leader to guiding other people and to lead them to do things, to take initiations, to create some things. Of course, I get into trouble. I still remember so far my kindergarten years of some trouble, and my teacher, because I created some trouble, my teacher asked me to find me to stand for 1 hour, I think, on the stage of the kindergarten. That's a big how to say, it's a big really like hurt my self-esteem. That's why I really heard that. That's the only thing. That's the only time I was really being disciplined like that. But since then, after that, I was always like the teacher's favorite. they all loved me. So I did make some troubles at the beginning, but that's why I also in my character I'm a rebelling person, and never just follow authority, because I have the true authority inside of me, the universal truth. That's my authority. And since when I was since I say my youth, I've fallen into the faith in God, and since then God has become my authority. So I truly respect God's wisdom and the truth, but I do not follow only the worldly authority or the worldly just management or those kind of thing, right? So that's me. So it's just like a free spirit, and with a passion, with creativity, and also with that kind of a leadership. But it's great for me. It's doing good things. It's because I'm using that to contribute to other people. Really, I'm not pursuing just a personal fame or personal, I say personal kind of just a personal achievement. Because of the second one, right? The purpose one and the big why one. I'll always need like that kind of fulfillment kind of a feeling comes from the value I add to other people. So far all the things, the great blessings is doing me, the guiding me go the right direction and doing the right things. So that's the top 3. So actually it's not just a simple culture. It's, as I describe it, I just feel like the more and more I discover myself. So today I told you, today is not just for teaching. It's more for sharing and more for exploration and discovery. So as I'm sharing with you, I did discover more about myself. All these kind of things combined together as my culture. So I'm definitely a genuine, wild person and natural person, and really living out my purpose, a big why, and have the unparalleled passion and creativity to serve and to help and always take initiative. And so I hope this, by the way, yeah, I think that definitely served me and my audience as well because of the creativity and the passion, right, driven by my purpose. I've been so creative through the 10 years of my coaching, and I never gave up. Of course, we have some 10 years, you can imagine, so many ups and downs, and majority of the time, you may not feel like I'm still not there, far away from where I want to be. But at the same time, I'm not giving up because of the 10 years through all this kind of a purpose for why, and also my passion, unparalleled passion, being creating and always wanting to add values to other people. So this is a really self-discovery and self-development process through those 10 years. The best thing I think is not just the values I add to other people, but it's also the person I grow into. And through today's sharing, I'm also sharing with you my self-discovery. All the cultures define myself, the authenticity and the big why, right? The on purpose, always living on purpose, living for the big why, and then the passion, creativity, all this kind of thing, right? So today, I also want this could be inspiring to you, that can help you to think about your culture, your personal culture. How about the top 3? I hope you can find your top 3 cultures to define yourself and understand more about yourself, and how that's helping you to serve other people. Because when you better understand yourself, and you will make you really align in that kind of alignment. Because if you stay true to yourself, you fully understand your background and the culture you've already been developing through all these years, and that help you to connect with your ideal audience and serve them from your true self and from your heart. And that will bring you not just the confidence, but it's also like that kind of fulfillment and joy when you are really living and serving from your true self, from your authentic culture. That will make the journey most joyful. And talking about initially I talked about one of the cultures, aim high. Definitely, when you want to stretch yourself, aim high, and really, how to say, shorten that gap from your big vision to your everyday actions. So that's one of the challenge I want to share with you today. Is not just find your top 3 culture characteristics, or you can say the core values, or your how to say, your behavioral and values, the top 3. And then I want to challenge you to aim high. Really aim high, find your best role model. For me, it's like role models including Tony Robbins, and all those kind of successful people. Yesterday actually I was doing some research. I saw those, even simply search on how to say, Facebook. If you find one famous one, and then you see related other automatically recommended ones. I've just found a majority of them, dozens of them are all males. Only 2 ladies I found. One is Rhonda. Rhonda is Rhonda Byrne. How to say that? Yeah, Byrne. She's the author of the Secrets series, right? And the Law of Attraction, the Secrets. She was famous because of that. And but even compared with her impact and awareness on Facebook is far behind those other men. And also another lady is just Louise Hay, and she actually, I know she passed away, and her impact stopped almost like last year in March. That's a sad story. So only I found 2 well-known ladies, role models, and their impact is really still very limited. And the majority, dozens of others, even hundreds of others, just male. So I was been thinking about why our ladies we have so big hearts, we've been contributing so much values in the society, why we have so limited impact. I think it's like because we've been giving so much as the nurturer in our relationships, in our families, and also because maybe we are not aiming high enough. And the majority of women's, we want more like we call it balance, more balanced life, and many of us want to stay in more like a loving environment, nurturing environment, or maybe artistic environment. We want to just like feeling good instead of like aim high. So majority of the time is really in that kind of a contribution, in of giving love and helping each other feeling good, but we're not really aiming high. So aiming high is really a big challenge for most of our ladies. So that's why I want to challenge our entrepreneurs. Majority of us, I saw so many women entrepreneurs there. We are not generating the enough impact as we're supposed to be. So inspired by Rhonda and Louise Hay, and I hope you could find your role models. So that's why I choose, I don't know why, I just choose Tony Robbins. He's a male, but doesn't matter. He's also authentic person, and he's really has a big, great heart. I don't care if it's a male or female, right? It's as long as they can inspire me. And he always inspire me, and he's really a person aiming high and giving a lot, and is a great achiever. A great achiever. I really admire him in the coaching and mentoring industry for over 40 years. He's doing so great, and millions of people are really transformed by him. So that's what I really, by the results, I really admire him and his big hearts. I can always feel his authentic and big, genuine heart, and the talents and gifts he's giving to this world. So he's my number 1 inspirations, and even 1 is big enough, it's good enough, right? So I'm definitely challenging myself, not just never giving up, but also aiming high and find my best role model, and keep doing my valuable things and adding values to my ideal audience, our original entrepreneurs and life changers. Most of you are coaches, authors, speakers, consultants. I know that you can impact more people. If I help any one of you, and you will help hundreds of thousands of other people, that means I will help millions of other people. So that's my vision. So happy to share this message with you. It's already over 30 minutes. I hope you get some aha moments or maybe takeaways. Feel free, please share under my video. Also, I hope you will give me a thumbs up and let me know that you like this this sharing. And also, to me, it's also a self-discovery. Okay, so I really love teaching, love sharing, love coaching. This is helping me become a better person as well. I really appreciate that you being there, listening to me and sharing this journey with me. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful Thursday. Bye.